The third Tina Wonderlands gameplay trailer is here, so let's jump right into it once again and go over all the things you might have missed, and we'll cover all the new information too. Right away we can see a Wyvern, a Butt Stallion, and the Dragon Lord in the midst of battle, and from the looks of it, Butt Stallion will be a major piece for taking on the Dragon Lord. As you might know, in the Dragon Keep DLC for Borderlands 2, Butt Stallion played the major part of bringing order back to the world. Maybe that'll be the same here. At the beginning, you'll see the familiar beanstalk structure that we saw in the second trailer, and later on you'll see this house in which we look very small. If you look around, you can see that everything's large and there's a giant sitting by a door, so this is likely a play on the Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tale. If it does follow like the fairy tale, we'll be looting this giant's castle, and maybe take on the unfriendly giant too. That fits perfectly in the Borderlands world because loot and, hey, a boss fight. We get a sneak peek at a new environment here, and it looks to be sunken ghost ships on land. You can even see a ghost ship coming out of an older ship, and aboard are some spectral skeleton enemies. Also, what are these floating balloon creatures? We'll have to wait and see on that. We are introduced to Valentine, and he will accompany us on our journey, as well as the robot Fret too. Now, we know from the first gameplay trailer this is an actual person and robot, because they can be seen playing the game side by side with Tina. However, they are putting themselves in the fantasy world, so they will fight alongside us. I never really mentioned it in the last trailers, but loot chests are everywhere. You can see one in almost all the scenes. I want to know why this tree is sad and crying blood. We'll have to wait and see on that too. Brick with fairy wings, yes. Doesn't mean that Brick is going to be a fairy or the prettiest siren.
My siren's name is Brick, and she is the prettiest.
Right after, we get a look at some of the weapons and the character customizations. And I gotta say, Gearbox really went out on the character customizations because they look pretty good. For the next little bit, we're going to see a lot of the same gameplay stuff we saw in the second trailer, so I won't go into much detail about that. If you want a recap, you can click on my second gameplay trailer breakdown in the description below. We see Valentine, Fred, and probably ourselves taking on the Dragon Lord right here. And if this is a cutscene from the game, this is going to be pretty awesome. Why, you might ask? Well, outside of the beautiful cinematics here, we might be seeing our character for the first time in a cutscene. This has always been a hot topic in the Borderlands community, because for all the previous games, your character never showed up in cutscenes. It's almost like you didn't exist. Having this small detail in will give better immersion to the story, and hopefully we can see your character playing a major part in that. Right here we see a skeleton boss, and he makes a childish insult by calling us an idiot. You can even tell by the skeleton's voice that they sound quite young, so I am wondering who this insulting child is. Why do they hate us so much? Next up we see a Cyclops humanoid enemy who shoots a grappling hook at you, and of course with the grappling hook he's gonna pull you in. This is actually very similar to the Anchorman we saw back in Borderlands 2. They throw an anchor at you and pull you in. Here's a really cool part. Tina slams this giant figurine onto the game board, and right after, you're in that boss fight in the fantasy world. During the boss fight, you can see those Nagas we saw earlier in the trailer, and they are throwing projectiles at the player. These Nagas are probably just fodder enemies to get you a second win if you go down. Also, we do know that the Tidor brand is returning to Wonderlands, but instead of Tidor, it's going to be called Furior. The joke is, as mentioned by Gearbox, it's not inferior, it's Furior. And during the boss fight, you can see your player chuck a Furior pistol, and it has a blue glowing animation as it rockets through the air. Back to the Nagas, we do get a look at a couple varieties of them, and they also say in the trailer that they have found their champion. Now, I do believe they're referring to us, and maybe we have to do some kind of gladiator battle arena. It does seem quite fitting because this scene takes place in some sort of arena. There is a strange pink bubble with some sort of ritual sitting by it. Maybe it will be a way to regen mana because we do know that spells are going to be in this game. Ah, the Overworld. This was confirmed to be how you're going to be getting around the game. And here, Tina leaves a cheese pup on the game board, so she proceeds to pick it up and eat it. Upon doing so, it unblocks your path so you can proceed forward. I think that is a really cool interactive idea for getting around the map. Up ahead, we see a map called Weep Wild Darkness, and right under it says 0%. Guys, I don't want to get your hopes up, but this could be something big. Either this could be maybe a progression bar in which you have to get to 100% before you can proceed on, or seamless loading. Now, if this is seamless loading, we would have to wait until it hits 100%, but the big thing is that we would not have to sit on a loading screen and could just jump right into the map once it's loaded. That would be a huge step forward in the Borderlands franchise. I would much rather spend my time exploring the overworld instead of watching a loading screen. We get a scene of you kicking a bottle cap to cross, and in the background is a bridge with a giant match over it. Fire, wooden bridge, I'm pretty sure we know what's going to happen there. We see Mr. Torg taking a run with his loot. He does jam out on it once again, and here's the best part. There is an ocean, and it blows up. Yeah, this is another throwback to Dragon Keep in Borderlands 2. In that DLC, Mr. Torg asks you to blow up the ocean, but you never get the chance.
No, mister! I
blew up the ocean!
It looks like now we will actually get that chance. For the last bit, we see a bunch of raining loot, including legendaries, and a showcase of more of the character cosmetics and some banners. And some floating sheep. I don't even know. We see a small wooden claptrap on a table surrounded by skeletons, so I'm sure that claptrap got himself into trouble as usual. We then see another new shroom type of enemy which has 2 shields, and a giant D20 die shooting a rainbow beam into this blue portal. That's definitely something big in the story. Next up, you shoot a magic spell at the shroom's head, and their head explodes and releases a bunch of these rainbow things. They don't seem to be effervescent rarity gear. My assumption is that these are side mission objectives or something you can pick up to regen something. We don't have a ton of information to go off here. Check this out. This flat-off sniper shoots out a blue orb and a player pulls it into the enemy. Now, if you guys have played Borderlands 3, you might be familiar with the Freeman rocket launcher. And with this launcher, when you shoot it, it will track where you're aiming. The same thing is happening here with the sniper. They shoot the blue orb and then pull it into the enemy. One thing I want to note too is that Borderlands 3 had secondary firing modes on flat-off snipers, and if you watch the barrel of the sniper after the shot, it goes back to normal. It is safe to assume this will be a secondary fire mode for this sniper too. Right at the end, we see this massive area and that blue wyvern we saw at the beginning of the trailer. This guy is massive, so we're likely looking at a pretty big boss fight. Anyways, that's going to be it for all the new information we had for today. So do let me know below in the comments what you guys think about all this. I am super looking forward to this game and I hope it's going to be great. It's only a few more months away, so we don't have that much longer to wait. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course, if you did, then please be sure to leave a like because that'd be awesome. And if you guys really enjoyed it, be sure to sub. You guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Peace out.